Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today, Rite of the Nine got updated. We now have 4 more weapons to chase, a new dungeon to tackle, new quests, and the reward structure has changed quite a bit. So if you're jumping in looking to farm shinies, adepts, and all that, this is the video for you. Also, there are timestamps down below for your convenience, and if you find this video helpful, a subscription would be greatly appreciated. Now the event, even with the update, starts the same as every other week. We first want to head to the emissary within the Rite of the Nine social space and pick up her 2 quests. These quests are nice and simple, only requiring us to play through the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon on any difficulty. Before completing that though, I do want to mention that if you haven't been checking in with this vendor weekly, she will have multiple quests that require you to complete the Spire the Watcher dungeon, one that isn't available as this video gets uploaded. This dungeon will return though for the final few weeks of the event, but one of those quests had a free exotic as the reward, and this one isn't locked to a specific dungeon. So you can just grab that and do that whether you're starting today, whether you haven't played since last week, or even on the final week of this event. Completing this quest allowed you to choose from Hierarchy of Needs, the Navigator, and even the Gallarhorn Catalyst, which if you're lucky enough to find Xur selling it, means you can get that weapon and its catalyst for free without ever owning the 30th anniversary DLC. Now, with quest acquisition aside, completing them is super straightforward. If you're solo or not really interested in trying the harder difficulties, the Explore mode is easier to complete, still drops loot and counts for this quest. But running through any difficulty will complete this for you, where you can then return to the emissary for a shiny Cold Comfort, then you can take 2 more elevators, this time up to the second platform that we couldn't reach last week, and grab your guaranteed shiny No Feelings, alongside an extra weapon drop. And actually, that's it. That's all of the guided portion of this update done and dusted. But now, we want to return to farming for non-ray manifolds and weapon drops themselves from the dungeon. And that's because this week we have 4 new weapons, which is including the desirable No Survivors and Cold Comfort. Of course, if you are looking for that one specific weapon, make sure to attune to it right here within the social space. And remember that you can spend non-ray manifolds at this chest for a chance at shinies, adepts, and even shiny adepts. But now that you know what you're hunting for, I want to debrief us on how rewards have changed since the event went live. Namely, we're getting more loot across the board. And then on the second week of a dungeon, enemies will also have a chance to drop weapons. So if you're seeing this in week 2, know that you'll just get even more. But before we look at how to most efficiently clear Ghosts of the Deep, what is the best flat strategy for, again, getting currency and weapons? The answer to that is just do dungeon runs while picking up bounties. These you can grab from the emissary for extra manifolds, but I honestly wouldn't even focus on completing them, just let it happen passively. The method though is just like it was with Spire the Watcher. Across Ghosts of the Deep, there are 4 farmable encounters: the entrance, the traversal, boss 1, and boss 2. Each of these will drop a weapon and give you some manifolds unbeaten, although the traversal gives less. Then if you do a full dungeon run, the final boss will drop an extra chest, giving you 6 weapon drops and a ton of manifolds across 1 full completion. Now, the amount of drops are the same across all difficulties, but the quality of each drop is increased on Eternity and Ultimatum difficulties. The main thing here is that these ones have encounter scoring. With 1 or fewer deaths, encounters will clear with gold. This means weapons dropped from that encounter get double perks in both columns, and you get max manifolds, which as you can see is 190. So the full loot you can expect from 1 run on Eternity or Ultimatum, getting gold score on each encounter, is 6 weapon drops and 660 manifolds. So if we factor in the ability to spin those manifolds at the emissary, which is 250 per spin, that comes out to 8 weapon drops. But there's a big thing to note when you're in these activities farming for your god rolls, and that is the ability to get double perks on each weapon. Some might think that double perks come from the Ultimatum difficulty exclusively, but that's not true. Ultimatum only drops adepts, which really aren't that important. Double perk drops come from the gold scored encounters. That means if you get gold on everything, the double perks essentially mean you're getting 8 weapon drops from encounters. The traversal and bonus chests I don't think drop double perks, so that's why you only get technically 8 from a dungeon, including all the perk rolls you can get. But then you also get the 2 bonus chest pulls at the emissary, so you're getting about the equivalent of 11 weapons from 1 dungeon run. So if you can go for gold, do it. And if you're curious, here is the actual loot spread from each encounter's score. Oh, also, while we're at the end of the loot section here, remember that there are 2 secret chests that you can get. One right as you enter the coral reef thing, leaving the facility, and then the next is after the big ogre, just before the final boss. Unfortunately, these are only once per account per week, but that's still 2 more weapon drops that you can get. And then also, while on the topic of secret things now, there are 2 more secret collectibles to get. One is just next to the traversal chest here on this pillar thing, you're gonna have to drop down. And then the second is just to your right when you enter the long, annoying hallway before the final boss, right here on this pile of ghosts. All in all though, this update just increased how much loot we get. There isn't much difference in how we should be tackling the event if you farm Spire the Watcher. So kind of just keep on keeping on, but you're gonna be getting a lot more stuff. Now though, let's talk about actually making your Eternity and Ultimatum clears free. That way you can get your emblems and achievements and loot with no hassle. First encounter is just add clear stuff. Run my Lightning Search build or a Consecration Titan. They even removed a step in this encounter, making it very quick to clear. It's not bad. After that, you have the what feels like an hour-long traversal section. The same builds and stuff apply. After that though, and you've got 2 things of loot already, you'll find yourself at Ecthar, who doesn't actually have anything new going on. The best and most simple strategy that you can employ across all difficulties is just drop a Well of Radiance on him and go to town with Lord of Wolves. You'll easily 2-phase him without much worry, but if you want to go the extra mile, a Song of Flame Warlock with Tractor Cannon makes it totally free. Of course, supplement some damage supers. And the reasoning for the Song of Flame is so that you get a debuff while good damage. It's similar to the Song of Flame stunning from the Spire the Watcher if you saw that. And if you're curious, I'll just let this DPS play out so you can see what it's like.
I'm not barricade here. Oh, this is just Mickeyest boss fight ever. You know what though? I think the glaive is better.
Alternatively though, on Ecthar, if you really wanted to go crazy, you could use Winter Bite with Syntheseps class items or just the actual arms itself, allowing you to do this. Just remember, if you want to do this, you got to use the No Bell artifact perk.
Stun is out, play safe, you're out of well.
Barricade, you go to barricade, you go to barricade. There's a nuke, there's a nuke.
There's a nuke.
Block.
Big block.
Just LOS, LOS.
And then for the final boss across every difficulty, just use Queenbreaker and a Divinity with Cenotaph Mask. I was the Divinity guy, and I could still even handle the Hive Guardians on my own with a machine gun, so that's not even much of a worry. Just put on Div, and you'll cook here easy in 1 or 2 phases.
You're not behind barricade, that's why. Barricade placement's actually like atrocious, but
I got a new one,
Down, or didn't drop.
it's fine, it happens sometimes.
The well's out, I think, but we're behind. I used it already.
Sorry, I needed us.
Yeah, to be fair, without a div, it's probably quite annoying.
And yeah, that's Ghost of the Deep and the updated Rite of the Nine event. Prophecy is going to arrive in 2 weeks, and then after that, we get a quote-unquote Lootapalooza. So stay tuned for finding out how we can best abuse that. With that, thank you for getting this far into the video. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. If you want to support me and support the channel, a like, a comment, a subscription, joining the Discord goes a very long way. If you want to support me and support the channel but you can't think of a comment down below, Ghost of the Deep. And with that, as usual, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.